Hello everyone, my name is Philippe Fournier, associate producer on Far Cry 5.
And I'm Mari Knadel, a scriptwriter on Far Cry 5. Today we're going to take you through our extended E3 demo and highlight some of the features that we're really excited about. Welcome to Hope County, Montana. This is the Holland Valley, a section of farmland that the project at Eden's Gate is using as their breadbasket.
With us in this demo, we have our loyal dog Boomer as your Fang for hire. For now, I just can't resist. The setup is too perfect. I'm going to use this tractor against the cult.
The cult is stealing supplies and kidnapping people, using them to prepare for a doomsday that's really just around the corner. We're going to put you in the shoes of a rookie deputy and drop you into the heat of the conflict.
In Far Cry 5, we want to give you tools that feel like they belong in Montana in your fight against the doomsday cult.
Please take it. Tracy, what was that? I'm bugging out, man!
And now we're going to make a quick getaway in case reinforcements arrive.
Oh, Christ, help me.
Boomer is just one of the many allies you can recruit using our for-hire system. Each of them has special abilities, and it's up to you to select which companion to bring along for the ride, whether you're just exploring the open world or fighting cultists head-on in a specific location. Cute dog. My dad would love to know, what type of breed is Boomer? No, seriously.
His breed is mutt, but he is mostly blue heeler by the looks of him.
Montana is a great place to fish, and it was important for us to create a system where we allowed players to live that experience. In the rivers and lakes of Hope County, you will find many different types of fish. It's a really good way for players to gain experience and also just get away from the conflict. And here we see the player needs to fight a little bit to get the fish. Nice, catch of the day on the menu.
So it's nice to unwind with some fishing every now and then, but we know the cult isn't taking any breaks because they have an apocalypse to prepare for. As you explore the county, you'll come across cultists working hard to serve Joseph, the father of their cult. They're taking food and supplies for their bunkers, they're blocking the roads so no one can escape, and they're destroying resources so the resistance can't use them. And it looks like we spotted something up ahead. Yeah, let's take out our binoculars.
All right, it seems like there's a small group of cultists there, Mari.
All right, so this looks like a forced baptism. What do you say we get in there, Phil?
Yeah, let's do it. I think the best approach would be to go in stealthily through the river with Boomer by our side. I think we're well equipped to get rid of those two guys. Here we're using one of the iconic weapons featured in Far Cry 5, the revolver. And you'll be able to customize those weapons by adding attachments or changing the color scheme and hunt the cult in style.
Go, Boomer!
All right, Boomer showing off one of his skills. This can really be a game changer in a fight where you're a bit low of ammo or you don't have the right weapon for the situation.
He's a good dog. You know, Boomer's a great all-rounder who can support any playstyle. Even without your commands, he'll fetch guns for you, take down cultists in a fight, and he'll tag enemies and animals from far away with his keen sense of smell.
The game being set in America, it was important for us to bring a wide variety of vehicles from pickups to tractors to big rigs like this one. This one is specifically called the Widowmaker. It's like a battering ram on wheels, and is a great tool to create chaos and take down enemy vehicles or roadblocks.
And it looks like we got one here.
Let's do it.
Pedal to the metal.
That Voss bobblehead didn't even move. We're so good.
We got him glued onto the dash.
That's it. Boom.
So it sounds like we're listening to the cult radio station. I gotta say, some of their hymns are pretty catchy, Phil. Now we're pulling up to Ryan Sons Aviation. This is the home of Nick Rye. He's a crop duster and a family man. He's doing what he can to keep his family safe and keep the cult from getting his plane, but it looks like they've beaten us here, so let's jump right in. There's no time to waste.
And let Boomer, kind of create distractions. for us to get behind cover and help Nick fight the cultists. In Far Cry 5, you'll need to improvise and choose from a vast arsenal of weapons and find elements in the environment to take down the enemy. There we go. So we just took down the last cultist at Nick Rise using my favorite stealth weapon, a baseball bat. Sometimes you can hear Boomer growling when he feels a threat nearby. And Boomer is just part of Far Cry 5's living world we've built, where there's always something or someone around you whether you notice it or not. This means you'll always need to be prepared. Boomer will stand his ground and defend you from predators, as there are a lot of moments for the player to hunt or be hunted. And we've built a deep ecosystem that represents Montana's wilderness.
So, we've seen ducks, a sturgeon, deer, and this is just a small sample of all of the wild animals that you'll encounter in Hope County. So now we've jumped into Nick Rye's plane. It's been in his family for generations, and with it we'll take to the sky to destroy some cult silos that are hoarding explosives.
The world that we've built is larger than any Far Cry before, and for the first time you can explore the world in any direction that you choose right from the start. In this demo, we're in Holland Valley, and this is just one small part of Hope County.
Montana is called Big Sky Country after all. Flying is a great way to travel, explore the county, and scout out new opportunities. And also blow things up.
Woo-wee! Look at that go! Nice work, partner. Go get the other one.
Oh, looks like the cult has decided to intervene. That plane belongs to a Chosen. Now, the Chosen are elite soldiers, and it's their job to basically crush any threat to the project at Eden's Gate. So we've done enough to anger the cult. We're going to engage a little dogfight with them and show them what we think of them.
That's right. Even in the air, there's a lot of opportunities for the player to, find or discover or get chased by
Discovered.
or get discovered. Yeah, totally. Hunt or be hunted, as we call it. I think right now we are the predator.
Yep, we got them on the run. They're smoking.
Hey guys, this is Dan Hay. I'm the executive producer on Far Cry and the creative director on Far Cry 5. Today, we want to show you the world of Far Cry 5 and introduce you to the little town of Falls End, which has been overrun by a fanatic cult. In Far Cry 5, we want to give you an entire for-hire system. Guns for hire, fangs for hire, and friends for hire. Meet Boomer and Grace. Boomer's your dog, perfect to run out into the world and tag enemies. And Grace?
We got piggies.
She's the quiet sniper. The cult at Eden's Gate has basically taken
Town
over all of
looks like
Falls
a
End.
war zone.
And you and your guns for hire have to take it back.
Where do you want me?
We're gonna send Grace, our sharpshooter, to the water tower to get ourselves
Water
some cover
tower.
fire.
Got it.
You see here the last remnants of the resistance that tried to fight the cult.
I'm in position.
Out there in the bushes is Boomer. He's ready to go. And up above, Nick. Perfect death from above. Now, it's time to call on Grace to do what she does.
Boom, boom, motherfuckers.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Behind you!
Bang, 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 bang.
Gonna need more help!
I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk. You knocks me out. I right off of my feet.
Looks like you need some help.
Boom, 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 boom.
Target
Bang,
a
bang,
fucking
bang,
quad.
Boom, 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 boom.
In Hope County, how will you be spending your time outdoors? But Eden's Gate is still causing trouble.
Imagine me and you and me. No matter how they toss the dice, it has to be. The only one for me is you and you for me. So happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you. For all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue. For all my life, so happy together. How is the weather? So happy together. We must atone.
I would say there are three primary characteristics that define a destructive cult. First of all, a totalitarian leader, a charismatic leader who becomes an object of worship. Number two, that the group has a process of coercive persuasion to break people down, create a mindset of dependency upon the leader for critical thinking, and engenders undue influence. And then finally, number three, that the group does harm.
So I think the cult really came out of this concept of building this character, the father. And then what we did is we moved into the next step of that. We learned a lot about cults.
Ubisoft contacted me and we began to exchange information. You know, they basically bounced things off of me to see if they were historically accurate. So basically what I kind of brought to the table was my long history of work and research dealing with destructive cults. And I think what Ubisoft wanted to do in Far Cry 5 was contextualize their ideas and make sure that they fit within that universe.
Often, and that's what's really scary, was saying, yes, this exists, and actually it was worse. And so we were realizing that then again, reality was far stranger than fiction, and we could go actually way further than what we were doing.
I think the problem is that when you or I think cults, maybe what we think of is just a bunch of people running around in these weird robes and there's goats around or whatever else, and you're like, what is this? There's all this sort of inference to a very cliche version of a cult. And that's not what this is. We learned a great deal about them. And so we started to build this cult and think about it, and we started to say, how does it work? How would it be seductive?
When a destructive cult wants to take over a particular area, they will have people coming in, buying businesses, buying real estate, and they become a disproportionate amount of the population. I mean, if it's a small town, it may not take that many members of a destructive cult to tip the balance and for the town to become kind of a company town. There have been towns in the United States where the mayor of the town is a member of a group that has been called a cult. And I think in that sense, what Far Cry 5 represents is historically accurate and viable.
And like for instance, we spend a lot of time studying how a cult could get a hold of a space. And that's something that we now summarize in the beginning of the game in, I don't know, 2 sentences. But that strikes the point, and that will be enough.
Maybe 3 years ago it didn't feel this way, but the weirder the world gets and the scarier the world gets, then the more we experience a lack of control. And if somebody shows up at the right moment and says to you, listen, I understand things are scary, let me just talk to you about your tomorrow. I'm gonna make your tomorrow make sense. People go, okay, that sounds reasonable, and they fall into it.
You can feel that we are creeping towards the edge.
We must atone!
Something is coming. You can feel it, can't you? You can feel that we are creeping towards the edge. I know that you are out there. And I know that you are in pain. But my children, I'm here to tell you that suffering is a choice, and you can choose a better path. We want you, we accept you, and we will take you, willingly or not. And some of you may fight, but in the end, you will thank us. I am your father, and you are my children.
Upon us! I shall lead you to the gate! For you are my children, and I am your father!